What's up, family? It's another one from the Central, man. We good?
For sure.
Get the viewers, provide the viewers. What's up, guys? It's your boy Corn. I'm back with another Fuel by Pain podcast. Today, I have an amazing co-host, I would say. I'll let him introduce himself, and then we'll get started with the podcast.
Hey, man. Well, I'm going to save some of the introduction for the podcast,
Yes, sir,
but I'm
yes,
King
sir.
Randall, the founder of the TheXProgram, but I'm ready to get into it, man.
Yes, sir. It's crazy. So, let's start it off there. Expo Boys, where does that come from? Why did you start it? What's the belief behind it?
Yeah, so I started the program when I was 19, mainly because one of my classmates got sentenced to 30 years in prison for a murder. He didn't commit the murder, but he hit the murder weapon. But that wasn't the sole reason for it. The main reason behind it was them not having any rehabilitative programs for juvenile offenders here in South Georgia. Meaning, like, when they go to jail, they leave jail, like no type of intervention in between that or anything. And we're expecting these kids to get out, and become better citizens. Jail is a consequence, so they're thinking it's supposed to make you not want to go back. But
Right.
These kids like, well, shoot, I got a bed to sleep in, food to eat, etc. I don't mind going back to jail. And I don't want kids to start internalizing that. So at that time, I decided to open up my own program. I started taking kids on field trips originally. My first field trip was January 19, 2019. I took the kids them to the Center for Civil and Human Rights, and I took them to the African American History Museum, the Apex Museum up in Atlanta, and to see those kids asking the questions they were asking, seeing them like actually wanting to be out of their condition. That's how I knew that I really, was supposed to be working with children at the time. Before that, I was working with older, and adult men in the community, but it was more of just a talking thing. People were asking me to come talk here and there and come talk here and there, but nobody actually wanted to do the things that I was talking about. I was saying, we should be doing for self and doing these different things on our own. But nobody, they loved to hear it, but nobody actually wanted to implement it. And I actually wanted to do it. So I started the program straight out of my house. In my dining room with a dry erase board I bought from Staples. That's how we began.
You, man, if you want it, you gotta go get it. You hear?
Gotta get it.
Most definitely. It's crazy that you mentioned the date, January 19th. As my podcast viewers know, January 19th is, for me, the day I attempted suicide. 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So January 19th is very, sentimental to me, very, heavy on my heart. So God brought us here for a reason.
Yeah,
In
absolutely.
that sense.
Wow.
It's crazy. So, speaking of the TheXProgram, man, because you had that vision, how many lives have you been able to change already?
Man, you know what? So this is one of those things, and I'm glad you asked that question because I have talked about this on a couple of previous podcasts that I was on about my impact and the success rate. I've impacted a lot of children. I've worked with, maybe 200-300 kids. But the success rate for me, I believe could have been better. Mainly because I started out working with teenagers. And for most of us, who have worked with teenagers, a lot of them have left mentally. They kind of just too far gone. And so I spent a lot of time, with some of those kids 2-3 years at a time, trying to get them to, change their thinking and trying to help them. And, we have impacted them, we have helped them. But a lot of times when working with teenagers, life has to just punch them in the face for them to get it. And unfortunately, after they get hit in the face, they've been hit now. I can't save them from that punch. But, they'll come back later and say, Mr. King, they'll call or whatever. Hey, Mr. King, I'm having a baby now, but I understand, everything you're trying to tell me. Or they'll call me from jail. Mr. King, I appreciate all the stuff you're trying to tell me. When I get out of jail, I'm going to, get back on my feet and things like that. But the idea for our program was to keep them from doing that in the first place. But then I realized the three major success stories I have are from those little brothers in the program who were blessed in by their big brothers. I call it blessed in when they were too young to be in the program, but I only allowed them to come if they had an older brother. Those young boys that I had, Bryson and Kendarius, etc., those kids model the Extra Boys program. They internalized all the stuff that I was teaching them for that first couple of years. They were like 7, 8, 9 years old. And so they are truly what the Extra Boys program is all about. They still operate the same way. They still carry themselves in the same way. They still have those routines and habits that I created with them to the point their teachers will call and say, hey, we love, what has happened, with this child.
The change is real.
They changed. And so at that moment, something clicked because one of my younger students that I had started accepting in this last year, he came to his mom and he was like, Mom, I love the program. I love the Extra Boys program. I love Mr. King. But the kids, the big boys in there, they just bad. He was like, Mr. King be having the fuss the whole time and telling them, to do this and that and, stop doing stuff. And like, it just kind of get frustrating because I can't even pay attention because they won't stop talking. They won't stop being back. They don't want to be there, etc. So at this point, we have changed how the program operates now. We just opened back up yesterday after getting some renovations done.
Man, congrats on that, by the way.
I appreciate it.
Yes,
yeah.
sir, yes, sir.
So we opened up now with ages 7 through 9. So we have younger boys now. And it's like night and day with them because those younger kids, they want what we're giving them.
Absolutely.
They're looking for somewhere where it's cool to do the right thing. And that's what we're doing with those boys now. So seeing them yesterday, they were ready to go. Like they was like, this is it. We don't care what y'all got going on. We somewhere after school. Yeah. We get the food. We get to go out of town. We get to help with our homework. This is what we want. So you can see in their faces like this is something that they've been looking for. Versus with teenagers, they have lived so much life already for a young kid, social media, etc. The experiences they have at school, they minds are out. You can't tell no teenager to stop having sex or stop smoking. It's just not gonna happen. Yeah. No matter how much you try to do it, you can give them every resource, etc. It's just sometimes life just got to hit them for them to be able to stop. But I wanted to work with those kids, and training our replacements. Those younger kids, they want the teaching, and so now, even if a kid doesn't want to be there, like I used to do this thing where, well, mama, just bring him anyway. If he don't want to be here, we gonna get them together and stuff like that. And I realized too that I was still hurting and hindering those kids who did want to be there. And also, our program is free and it's completely funded by donors. We don't get any government grants, any government funding. Wow. And so, but with that being said, I realized then I've spent so much donor money on children who didn't even want it, who didn't want to be there, who didn't want to participate in the field trips, who didn't want to participate in the workshops. They did not want to be there. So now I have this thing where you got 2 or 3 days to tell me you don't want to be here. If you don't want to be here, mama, this just ain't the program for him. Let me make space respectfully. Let me make space for a kid who wants to be here because I don't want to be, wasting donor funds on kids and it ain't actually impacting them because they don't want it. So that's what I do now. If they don't want to be there, I understand it. Respectfully, mama, he don't want to participate, and you can find another program for him. We got the Young Marines program here in Albany that may help, but I'm we're done with that. Respectfully, we're not gonna keep kids who don't want to be there. We're gonna keep giving it to those children who truly want it and truly want to benefit from the program.
Absolutely, it's about life changing. I tell you, I wish I didn't have it that young, but I got into Boy Scouts with Mr. Duncan, Mr. Troy, them in Atlanta with 5th Ward Boy Scouts when I was around 14, 15. So, but growing up, those challenges, I knew I always wanted better, but I just didn't know how to get it. Like, right. I didn't join gangs. I didn't go out to the club. I didn't smoke, none of that stuff. I didn't drink. That was something I wasn't fond of because that was a lifestyle I had already seen others take part in and absolutely got nowhere in life.
Right.
So it wasn't something I was willing to go down that road to kind of try to figure out, that's, what I'm saying? Like, that ain't it.
I get it. Yeah, absolutely.
But before we take a dive too deep into the X program and what you're doing for the boys, I do want to ask about your upbringing and what contributed to your life story to make you into this amazing person who wants to give back. Not a lot of people even take the time out to give back, especially to the young.
Right.
So what part of your childhood, what things were implemented inside of yourself as you grew up to make you want to be here and be doing this?
Yeah, I was raised in a full family for the most part. My mom got married when I was about 9 or 10, and my stepfather raised me that whole time, and my mom also did this thing for me where she never allowed me to have like a bad relationship with my biological dad. I know a lot of moms nowadays, and I've witnessed it, where they'll talk bad about the dad or et cetera, and even if the dad is not around, you're still ruining that child's psyche a little bit because now they're feeling like they have to have this resentment or be vengeful and things like that. My biological father wasn't just present at all. He would come to things here and there. I would talk to him on the phone here and there. I would go visit his house here and there or whatever like that. But it was never like a true just he was there type of thing. But my mom would make sure that we still had some type of relationship to the point where my mom would go like buy me Christmas gifts and go give them to my dad and then go get me and bring me to my dad if my dad bought me the gifts. And that speaks to the type of person my mom is, to make sure that relationship stayed there.
It's a powerful woman.
Yeah. It's huge. And I talk about that often because that is something people just ain't gonna do that. No matter what. But she wanted that relationship to happen. And so even on top of that, my dad only came to maybe like 3 of my football games. I played football my whole life, but I remember those. Like my mom was at every game. I don't remember that, but I remember every single game my dad came to. Yeah. I remember the plays I made. I remember looking at him when I got finished making the tackle, whatever. Like he was on the sideline going crazy, whatever. I remember all that stuff. Like I remember it like it was like a record player playing in my head because he did it. And that speaks to how important, fathers are.
It's like a stain on your heart. You remember those moments.
You remember, even my birthday is July 26th. My dad brought me a birthday cake on June 26th one year. I think I was turning like 10 or 11. And my grandmama at the time, his mom was telling him that that's not this boy's birthday. And he like, no, his birthday is today. He don't go to break him a cake. But it was, and for one, I hate chocolate cake. He brought me a chocolate cake at that. And he brought me the cake. I ate it, and I was so happy that my dad brought me. I didn't even care about it being the wrong day. Sure, my mom got onto him offline, not in front of me or anything like that. But just the impact. Again, I remember that, and I wasn't mad at it. I wasn't upset about it or nothing. Like I was happy that my dad brought me a cake. Didn't care if it was the wrong day or nothing. And so again, my mom continued to make sure that she would call him, on when I had stuff, like different things I did. She would call him and say, "Hey, your son got XYZ today. You need to show up. Be Absolutely. Here or whatever like that." So he did come to my college graduation. My mom made sure he was there, and my mom would like go to the ends of the earth to make sure he get to something. We went to Universal Studios one year. My dad was married at the time. Mom was like, "Look, I don't care if you ain't got the money. I'll pay for her and the kids to go. Your stepkids, all them. Just make sure you come to Universal with your son." Yeah.
She different.
She different. But that speaks a lot, to the type of woman she is. Absolutely. And making sure that I didn't internalize none of that hate or none of that stuff. Because to this day, like my dad, like we talk on the phone maybe once a month or whatever. I don't have no bad feelings about him or nothing like that. Even if he wasn't just super present and stuff. I remember all the moments we did have, growing up. I just spent time with him here and there. But that contributed to my upbringing. I want to talk about that because I imagine if my mom didn't make sure that I kept some type of good relationship with him, that I would have internalized that. I would be maybe vengeful or just feeling different because he wasn't around. But that also helped me love my stepfather too. We went fishing. We learned how to grow all of our own food. We killed skin animals. We would pick our food from outside every day. We grew food by the season. And we also grew our own seasonings too. Like, so when we would want to eat something, when we get out of school, we go right outside. Mom, what y'all want to eat? They can go outside, pick some greens, whatever like that. And we would bring it in the house. We got the seasonings outside. She would have the seasonings growing. We had this window at the kitchen, and she would have the seasonings growing right there outside the window. So when she wanted some seasoning, she would just let the window up and pick, whatever seasoning she wanted.
How do you even grow seasonings?
It seeds. It seeds.
Really?
Yeah. So we grew everything: oregano, thyme, all that stuff, sage, basil. But anyway, we grew all of that stuff in the backyard. We had a whole bunch of fruit trees. We planted outside, so we had peaches, tangerines, lemons, figs, pears, plums.
Yeah, I had a whole garden for real.
Yeah, and we still own that house. I just paid it off actually, but we still own that house, and all that stuff's still in the backyard.
I didn't hear that though.
All them trees back there still. And so the tangerines are like they just taste different. Like I tell people all the time, that stuff that come fresh off the tree, I mean, it's amazing. And tangerines and stuff, they grow like around the winter time or whatever. So when we go pick those, they're already cold and they peel so easy, and you can smell it. The smell is so loud when you start peeling it. Like it fill up the car or something like when you peel it. Yeah, and it's
for sure.
It's really good, man. It's really good. But that's like my major upbringing. I had my granddad. He came to live with us for a couple years when I was like 11 or 12. He lived there. I learned a lot from him. My uncles, they taught me a whole lot. So it's like I have a plethora of men around me that helped me, from Deacon Bogan that lived behind us. We had the guy across the street. He used to drive trucks, Mr. Silas. We had Mr. David down the street. He taught us how to lay bricks and pour concrete. I know most black neighborhoods had a candy lady, but we had a candy man. His name was Pie Man.
Really?
Yeah. So we would walk down the street to Pie Man house. He grew out his own food too. So him and my stepdad was real close. So he would grow his own food down there. We'd go down there, buy pickles or buy, chips or ices or whatever like that. That's what we used to do, in our neighborhood. But we had a full neighborhood. My stepdad would do Bible study on Wednesdays with the kids in the neighborhood. We would all huddle up in my mom's room or whatever, and he would just teach Bible study and stuff. We would play football together. I mean, our neighborhood was a whole clique. So that was my major upbringing. And then my grandmama, she was a preacher, still is, and that was my whole life, playing the drums at church. Every Sunday I was at church, without question.
Love music.
I love music. I played the drums from maybe about 2 to 3 years old all the way till I was 17. So I played for years, at different churches here in Albany. I played for Sanders Gift and Sasser until I was about 10 or 11. I started playing there. I was about 4. I played there till I was about 11 years old. I played at Littman Cathedral here in Albany from maybe about 12 to about 15. And I played at Greater Second Mount Olive with Pastor Hurd from about 15 to 17. Then I went to the Marines. But yeah, that's my upbringing. I had a regular life. I had a super regular life. I just had men around. And my mom, I saw my mom give all the time. And so people now, I give like often. I don't never stop giving. I don't care what it is, who it is, I give. Yeah, I love it. I love to give. And people are like, well, how, ask about how I'm able to get different things or how I'm so successful in different things. I give as much as I can. I give often, whether posted or not posted. I give often. Even going out to eat in Albany, I give every waiter $100. I don't care if it was service good or bad. Wow. The reason I do that is because I used to work in fast food. I understand that you don't have the best of days all the time. Like sometimes people get on your nerves. Your mom may have passed away. Yeah. You may be sick. You might be having family issues. I don't know why this waiter is having a bad day today. So I want to be that light for her day and make sure everybody else has a great day afterward. And so people remember that stuff because I don't. Yeah, that's strong. I mean, I don't post that stuff, but I remember my kids wanted a pet snake. And so I got a pet snake at the house or whatever like that. His name's Brewster. They named him Brewster. But anyway, I went to the pet store to go get him a rat to eat or whatever like that. I had to go like once a week. And so I got in there this one day, and this white lady was in there, and she just kept looking at me like weird. Yeah. And I'm just like, hey, how you doing? She was like, hey. She's like, you look familiar. And I'm used to that. I'm just like, yo, my name is King Randall. She's like, the name not ringing a bell. She's like, I'm not sure. I'm like, well, then I don't know. I'm like, well, I don't know. Yeah. So then she said, you're that guy. She said, 2 years ago, I used to work at Austin's Fire Grill. She said, you the only person that ever gave me $100 for a tip. She said, I remember your face. Not because of what I've done in the community. She didn't even know that I even do that stuff. She just remembered that I did that. The face. And she was just like, that just fixed me. She was just like, that truly helped me out. You don't know like what that did for me. Absolutely. But people remember that stuff, and people also pay it forward that way. So if everybody decides to give and try and help somebody every single day, you don't know how that is affecting their life, their kids, their spouse at home. Instead of going home to argue, they may go home and buy their wife some flowers that day. What, man, I had a great day. Had this guy do something for me. I'm gonna do something for the family today. Or complimenting people. Just talking to people, speaking to people. I speak to every person I see at the store or whatever. Yeah. I just speak. Don't care who it is. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you or whatever like that. But all that stuff speaks volumes. Giving people a smile every time you see them. That's one thing we teach the boys is, making sure they're always smiling. Absolutely. Always present yourself with a smile because you're just trying to show, other men and other people that you're not, a threat or anything like that. That's the first way you do it.
Especially as a black man.
Yes.
It's hard.
I don't understand the whole mean mugging thing. Like, I don't allow none of the students to do this whole straight face when you taking pictures and all that stuff. Like, no, bro, smile. Like, don't. What you playing hard for? I don't like men like that gets on my nerves, this whole don't smile in photos thing. Man, put a smile on your face, man. Like, what you looking hard for? You at your son's graduation, you like, bro, like, come on, man. Like, put a smile on your face. That's real. I don't like that. I never have. So guys that do that, you take a picture with me, bro, smile. Like, I don't care about none of that. Put a smile on your face, man. It's not gonna hurt nothing, and it lightens everything up. Absolutely. So I never got that. But yeah, back to upbringing. That's me, man. That's how I grew up.
It sounds like, so one of my core values is what you put in the world, you will get out. And I believe that from a standpoint, not everybody's going to treat you the same, but I tell you, God believes in karma. And truly, if you put in the good out, it's going to come back to you.
Absolutely.
So
every time.
Speaking of all these good things and everything and the emotional roller coasters, I mean, the good ones too. Has there ever been a time where you want to step away or give up in a sense? Can we talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Probably this past couple months, back in October, November of 2024, this last October, November, I was ready to hang it up for a little bit because I felt like, we weren't getting, and we need support to make this happen.
Absolutely.
And I also had some other stuff that I wanted to do in the city of Albany to also advocate for the kids. Like right now I'm on a couple different boards and things like that because I'm starting to understand how the city of Albany works right now. And so my goal at this present moment is to try and market the city of Albany. I have the biggest platform in the city of Albany, but I want to use that to shine positive light on all the things that are happening. The city morale is low right now because we only allow the negativity to shine. And like literally, everything you see about Albany, type Albany on Facebook, whatever, it's always the negative stuff.
Shootings, killings.
Yeah, and not even just that, just regular everyday drama, etc. And it's like I've talked to the city about it. I've talked to the police chief, the superintendent, whatever. I'm like, guys, y'all suck at marketing. I said it directly, and I say it again. We need to get better at marketing, mainly because the morale is low. You kind of owe taxpayers, not necessarily an explanation, but just they need to know what you're doing.
Absolutely.
And so it shouldn't take me to come out here and keep doing these little videos with y'all, etc., to show that, hey, people are trying to do their job here in the city of Albany. There are good things happening here. Yes, the police force is solving murders and doing things, but if y'all ain't posting it, nobody knows about it. So all you ever see is the police officers ain't doing their job. They can't school them, the kids can't read, blah, blah, blah. So let's dig into all of that. Why is this happening? And they answering the questions we asking, but I'm like, why aren't y'all making posts about it? Why aren't y'all making newspaper articles about it? Like the whole 9 schools underperforming in DCSS. They had a great explanation for us, at the Villa program that I've been participating in with DCSS. Beautiful explanation. Why wasn't that a press conference the next day after WALB dropped that whole thing and everybody talking about it? That should have been a whole thing. This is why this is happening.
What was the highlight of it? Why did they say it wasn't happening?
So for the most part, they gave a whole bunch of percentages and data about why. Mainly because DCSS is trying to become a full community for the kids. For one, that ain't DCSS job. DCSS trying to make sure these kids brushing their teeth. They trying to make sure they got clothes to wear, food to eat at home, etc. That's truly not a school system's job.
Yeah.
The millions of dollars they're spending on just making sure the kids go to the doctor is not their job. It's not. And I also put a charge on the city too, because I'm just like, well, these kids live here in Albany, Georgia. Why are y'all putting that all on the school system to just make sure they got everything they need? So you got to think these kids ain't got beds at home, and I can promise you they don't, because I just did some bed deliveries this weekend with Sleep in Heavenly Peace. We got kids like sleeping on a bare floor, and they ain't got no other furniture in their house. They ain't got no refrigerators, no stoves, nothing. And you want these kids to worry about reading? Bro, kid ain't worried about reading. Bro, just looking for his next meal. They ain't got refrigerators at home, so they having to eat like just what they got,
Nets, man.
Yeah, no microwaves, nothing. I'm watching kids eat dry noodles and stuff. Like, this is what I'm seeing outside right here in Albany. So when people ain't looking at the nuances of why, these kids don't know how to read and DCSS is doing a terrible job. No, you don't know what these kids dealing with here in Albany for real. It's real stuff, and everybody running for all these seats and this and that. I'm on the side, I'm on Ward 6 or whatever like that the other day. It's tarps all over the houses. None of the houses look decent. Why aren't you in your neighborhoods with your constituents who don't know who you are, guaranteed? Why aren't you in your neighborhood with your constituents, for one, asking them who their landlords are and putting some fire under these landlords about how these houses look? These people living in a mess. And then the people, it's like they don't have no means to fight it. They don't,
because they can't afford a lawyer. They
can't afford no lawyer, and they can't afford to be put out either, because they can't find nowhere else to say.
They'd rather be quiet.
They rather be quiet. But if you got a leader, who's behind you, the mayor included, why are people living like this and you just around? That don't make no sense to me. There's no reason people are living the way they living and we're allowing landlords to just get away with this stuff. Absolutely not. So this is stuff that, that needs to be talked about. So that's a place that I wanted to go, and that's where I'm going right now. But thank God things happen. So I'll never forget. Because I told you I wanted to shut the program down, but I never forget I was at this event where I was cutting homeless people's hair. I started cutting hair a long time ago, but I was cutting homeless people's hair, and it was a beautiful event I do like once a year. And I told my videographer, I said, bro, I got a video I want to drop. I said, it's just something on me. I said, it's going to explode. I said, I'm telling you, bro, it's going to be bad. So we went and shot it, and it went mega viral online. And it went mega viral online, and this guy his team reached out to me, and they sent like a private type of email or whatever like that. I didn't see it for like 6 days because I was checking my because I was going viral, so I'm used to my emails exploding at that time. Anyway, so people went and bought all the stuff off our Amazon wish list. We got like boxes all over our after school buildings. It's stuff everywhere. We got thousands of this and that and whatever. Like we got copy paper for like 3-4 years. Like we got like 100,000 sheets of copy paper and markers and pencils and calculators and whatever. We got all that stuff we need. But I saw their team reached out to me, and they say, we want to talk to you about your program, whatever. Like that. I'm like, all right, cool. And they like, what are you trying to do? Like they was like, show me what all you got, show me your buildings and this and that. So I showed them all the buildings we own. I told them what we're trying to do. I'm like, this is what I want to do. This is where I want to shift to. I've been wanting to shift. I said, we're about to close the program because I don't have, we just don't have the funding to keep this open. And the program only runs when I'm available.
Absolutely.
And I can't deal with that. I'm just like, I need the program to continue running when I'm not there. And so I showed them everything I got, you know, and they were just like, for one, the first conversation was like, look, we don't even give to organizations like yours. We don't. You're an up and starting organization. We don't know nothing about you or whatever like that. So they told me that they had cross-referenced me throughout the whole town before even reaching out to me. They anonymously called like different businesses, except they was like, listen, we done already talked to everybody about you. We know you the truth.
Yeah.
But what do you need? So I told them everything we got going on, told them what we were trying to do. And they was like, look, this is what we're going to do. They was like, we need you to get 2 vans. We need you to get you some staff members. We want you to renovate that main building, get you some new bathrooms in there, et cetera, et cetera. We want you to take 25 kids, get everything you need. This is how much money we're going to give you, XYZ. We're going to take care of everybody's salaries for the year, including yours. We're going to get you the new vans, make sure they squared away, get your insurance, all that stuff. This is what we're going to do for you for this first year.
Wow.
So they was like, from March, you say open up in March and give me this whole year. They said, show us the data. That's all they want. They said, show us the data at the end of the year. I ain't waiting till the end of the year. You're going to get data every month.
Absolutely.
Or whatever. But they like, show us the data. Show me where these kids are right now. Show me their physical capabilities. How long it take them to run a mile. Show me after the program, how long can they take them to run a mile now.
Yeah.
Push-ups, reading, math, etc. Give me the data. That's what they want to see. They say, if you can perform, you know, this year with what you say with your new staff, then this will determine you getting a bigger, you know,
and it will happen.
bigger funding next year. And they was like, and this will fix your school building that we got vandalized, etc. And they will able to do it. They were just like, show us what you can do this whole year, you know, with new staff, and you do what you're doing, you know, as far as advocating with the city, and we'll make something happen. So of course I'm not waiting to the end of the year.
Yeah.
We're going to get them data every single month.
Yeah.
At the end of every month, we got something for you. And on top of that, we're going to be asking them, hey, are we fulfilling, you know, what y'all see?
Making sure it's mutual.
Make sure. I promise you ain't gonna not get no information from me, from accounting, everything. Whatever y'all need, we got it. Because we want to make sure that happens next year, so we can take way more kids, get our main school building fixed. But every time, you know, you stay consistent, things will happen. Consistency matters. And I told people, even in the city of Albany, who ask us about marketing, etc., I'm like, bro, you just got to be consistent with what you're doing, no matter what market you in, whether you washing cars, you making chicken wings, etc. Be consistent at what you're doing, and it will come. Being right here in the city of Albany.
Do it for good reasons as well, man.
Yeah, man.
Please.
So it works. It will work as long as you remain consistent with it. If you decide you don't want to be consistent, it's not going to work. And God rewards those who help themselves. So
most definitely. I got a question. We spoke about, you know, showing them the data. How do you personally measure success within the program with the boys?
So for right now, we got this new thing we're about to do. We got them a whole bunch of iPads, my staff members, and every day what they're going to be doing. For one, we're going to have some original diagnostic exams for the kids. See what their reading levels are, see what their math scores are, physical capabilities, their weight, etc. We're going to measure all of that, you know, beginning this week. After this week, then we'll start every single week. Like even if they don't know how to tie their shoes, like little things. Who all knows how to work on cars? Do you know what an oil change is? Do you know what brake pads?
Video.
Yeah,
that was
we're gonna do all of those questions and things as a diagnostic. And so at the end, you know, 2-3 months from now, who knows how to do this now? Yeah. Who knows how to tie their shoes now? Who knows how to, you know, do proper etiquette, get the proper greeting of the day, etc. We're gonna get data on all this stuff. So that's how we're gonna market now. It's what didn't you know how to do when you first got here, and what can you do now, and what else have we added to your capabilities now, which increases their confidence, because now these kids can say, I know how to do something.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So they just walk different. They have a different swagger. They want to be different now because they got some confidence to say, I know how to do X, Y, Z now. And the confidence for boys is probably the biggest thing, because they don't have confidence, they don't have nothing else.
Absolutely, especially without having a male figure in their lives.
Absolutely.
Which a lot of them, I'm sure, probably come from that demographic. And I can speak on that a little bit. You know, my father, still in prison. Got out just for a little while. I went in when I was the age of 2. So I understand wholeheartedly what it's like to, you know, be going through that life, being the man of the house at 4 years old. You know, watching my sister, watching my little brother while mom at work. Can't go outside because I'm the man of the house. Right. I got to make sure dinner is ready. I got to make sure the doors is secure, until she get home. So that was the life, you know, a lot of them, I fear, living, and we have to find an escape. And I commend you for not only taking that step, but truly putting yourself in that position to be vulnerable enough to do that for them. It's not easy.
Some of them need it, and not just me. I'm one of those people that reach out to the fathers too. because we do have some instances where it is a mom being bitter and don't want the dad around just because of what happened between y'all. And so I'm like, hey, where are their dads? Where's the dad at? Oh, he lives in XYZ. Okay, cool. Give me contact. Yeah. Because I want to know what's up.
What's
now,
going
obviously,
on
if I see he a deadbeat or whatever like that, then okay, cool. But if I hear a dad on the phone like, bro, he's like, I'm just glad you called me because I want to see my son. I've been wanting him for a long time. And you know what I tell mama? He don't need the Extra Boys program. Send that boy to his daddy. That's where he need to be at. And I've had that happen a few times, and these kids are doing better. But cut the bitterness, cut all that out. I don't care what happened between you and that dad. It ain't got nothing to do with that child. And it's about the betterment of the child at the end of the day. So send him to his dad. But for the most part, I do run into those things like that because I want the dad to participate.
All right, so FBP, we back just like that on the podcast. LOL. So you emphasize teaching trades and life skills over traditional education models. Why do you think that's crucial for young black men today?
Okay, so I want to make a point that I'm not opposed to the traditional education model. It's just something that I need to see added to that, especially for boys. For the most part, again, I've mentioned that some boys are not athletically inclined or academically inclined. So they're kind of just in that little middle area, like they make decent grades, they don't play sports, but they need confidence. And so sometimes building confidence is in those skills.
Absolutely.
On top of that, sometimes I feel like we have sold that your life is over by the time you turn 30. Like you turn 30, everything a wrap. Like that's it. Oh my God. If you ain't did it by 30, then I'm like, bro, you got a whole life to live. You ain't even got in your prime yet, until you turn like 33, 34 or whatever. Those are the, the golden years of your life. But while you're in your 20s, I believe you should be working. I always say you should work now and play later. Because we have this idea where we should be playing while we're young and then work when your back start hurting. No, absolutely not. I want to go do all my partying and playing when I turn like 40 and 50. I ain't trying to be on nobody's job at 40 and 50. I'm not trying to be retiring later and all that. Nah, I'm trying to be retired. And I turn like about 40 years old, I'm done. Or whatever. Like with everything I'm doing, and I'm just going to be a daddy and go to baseball games and do whatever.
That's it.
But I'm trying to, just be financially free early. So I teach the boys when I'm teaching them skill trades. This does not have to be your dream. I tell them, even if you're going to school for something, like take some time to go to school for something that's not going to cost you a lot, that's going to make you a lot of money, and then pursue your dream after that. Like you can spend 22, 23 welding. This ain't got to be your actual dream, but go spend that year or two, stack that money up, stay at your parents' house or whatever, and just stack that money, help them out whatever they need or whatever like that. But stack that money up, and then you could go and pursue your actual dream with the funding you have raised. Or whatever, instead of just, I want to be XYZ, and you jump straight to college and go straight to that. You ain't got no funding for it. You ain't got no backing for it. You got student loan debt now, etc. You ain't even guaranteed a job in that field right now. Versus, okay, look, go to your local technical school to start out. Go get your degree or go get your certificate in heavy machinery, whatever. Go spend some time on somebody's construction site for 2 or 3 years. Same thing with the military. Go spend some time in the military for 4 years, and you build that up. And then, okay, now I'm gonna get out and now I'm gonna go pursue my dream. You're only 22. Like you got plenty of space. Or even like boxing, for example. Like my son boxes. Now he'll compete for his first time in February. But for me, this doesn't have to be a dream. This doesn't have to be something you want to do. You can retire boxing at 26, 27 and be done made a couple $1 million. But boxing is all about selling yourself. And I keep telling people that, like some people, see my son's like social media or whatever like that. And I'm like, for one, he's already got a couple deals already because of, we sharing what he's doing. I said, but on top of that, by the time this child turns, 17, he starts, being able to compete professionally. His fight, I guarantee his first purse fight will guarantee him like $2-3 million. Why? Because I sold his personality already. Even if he loses said fight, he can go challenge just some big person, just like Jake Paul, Logan Paul, whatever. They have sold their personalities, and that's what's selling them the fights. So you got these fighters who's 16-0, 17-0, but nobody know who they are because they ain't selling themselves. They're just trying to be this humble boxer and this and that. No, you gotta. Floyd Mayweather gave you the blueprint. Floyd Mayweather in no way was a nasty man or nothing like that, but he sold being the villain, and that's how he became the highest paid boxer of all time or whatever. And he was, with the sweet science, the best defensive fighter of all time. And so he made you want to see him get destroyed. Like he made you want to see him get beat. And he almost made it look like he was going to lose. And bro, go out there and whoop him. Every single fight. You have to entertain. So even, for example, my son playing baseball, this doesn't have to be a dream of his. He enjoys it right now, but he may want to change it. But by the time he turns 17, 18, he gets some scholarship or whatever like that. They doing NIL deals now. Bro, going to be worth a little bit. By the time he turns 17 and just utilizing my social media and making that way for him, it's very important to teach kids skills outside of what their dreams are to be able to fund what their dreams are. These skills will give you money, and I promise you, you will be set straight. You won't even need to do nothing else. Okay, now I can go do my dream because I've stacked this money up till I turn 26, 27. Like, stop selling kids that their life's over when they turn 30. 30 is not this wall. 30 is you just getting started. Use this 20s to build, because I'm not telling my kids they gotta leave home. You ain't never gotta leave home.
Let's speak on that. I heard you say that earlier. So now a lot of parents, especially, you know, who in our race, I would say, tend to kick their kids out, you know, once it's time to go to college, or you got to find a job. But life is not always as easy as we promise it to be.
Nope.
And it's not glitz and glory. So what is your thought process on parents who do that, who kick their kids out rather than allow them to stay home and build?
Sometimes you got parents that are jealous of their kids. You do got parents that are jealous of their kids, and they want to see them get it out the mud, you know, type deal. Well, I had to get it out the mud, so you got to get out the mud too. Now, to a point, I understand what they are thinking, but also you don't want to ruin them either. For example, like, my sons ain't gonna never need nothing. They ain't gonna never want for nothing, guaranteed. Because I'm gonna make sure they straight. However, you gonna go work like at McDonald's or something, bro. You gonna go work because I need you to understand that there are people that are working hard. Because I got a different respect for people that work fast food after working fast food. Because I understand you here busting your butt and you barely making anything. So I can understand, you know, the different attitudes. We got to learn to respect people. You're going to go wash cars. You're going to go rate yards, whatever like that to afford some of the things you want. Daddy got some money. You don't got money. I want you to go work for yourself. Now, granted, if he got a business idea or something like that he wants to pitch to me or whatever like that, then cool. We'll talk about it or whatever. I'm going to make sure they have what they need. I'm going to make sure I stand in their corner. But, bro, you ain't never got to leave home till you. I don't care if you're 30 or whatever. As long as you taking care of business and doing something worthwhile, what's the point of adding bills? Like, why do we got, like, I don't believe in folks who got kids all over the country. Oh, I got a kid that lives in Washington and one that lives in Florida. Why? Why are they away? Like, I don't want my kids that far away. Now, unless it's just truly their choice or whatever, then cool. But for the most part, most of the kids just leave because you beat them, put them out. Or you told them, well, you need to go find yourself or send them off to some far college. If my kids ain't got no full ride to go somewhere, you know where you going? Albany State. That's where you're going. Like,
that's real, though.
And you're going to go kick butt at Albany State. That's where you're going. And that's just being real. Kids are not an adult when they turn 18. They're not an adult at 21. You ain't a real adult till you really turn 25. Like, the way that I think now and the way I thought 2 years ago, completely different. And even just how my demeanor from 2 years ago and now, completely different. And so that's something that I've grown with. I've matured in a whole lot of different ways. And some of the things that I thought 2 or 3 years ago, I don't think anymore because I've had time for my mind to develop. I've had time for life to punch me in the face. I've had time to grow, listen to my elders, etc. Now, like, okay, I got a whole different perspective on how. I got a whole different perspective on what I think now or whatever. So stop telling kids they're an adult at 18, 21. You're not. You ain't no real adult till you really turn 25. And even now, I'm still consulting my mom with a couple things. Still got to call my stepdad. Still got to call my uncle. Like, hey, what y'all think about this or whatever, like that. I still have to consult people. You don't know nothing yet. Every day I live, I realize I don't know a thing.
Still learning.
Yeah, still learning every day. So you always be ever evolving. But definitely with parents and kids, man, we got to stop this whole thing. With being jealous of your kids or wanting them to get it out the mud and blah blah blah. Like, stop that.
Stop
like
making it hard. It's already hard enough.
Like me, right now, I promise you, my goal and dream right now is to be like that semi-mean granddaddy. Like I just want to be like at my grandson's baseball games and on the side. Like, I'm already living for King Randall III. I promise. Like, I'm already waiting for that. But the only way that I know I was a good man, regardless of all the other stuff I'm doing, is what my grandchildren turn out like. Because I know that if my sons are raising them in a proper manner, and I know my sons are doing the right thing, I knew that I was doing the right thing. I knew I did it right because I see them being successful with their sons and their sons being successful. So it's really about that family name. So outside of the Extra Boys, outside of everything else, my goal, as a father, is to what impact did I make on my own kids. That's the most important thing, because everybody got all these other dreams and stuff, celebrities, etc. And they're like, why is this celebrity's child going amok? Because they out fulfilling their own dreams and forgot about their kids. Why is this person's child doing this and that and they are this and this? Because they forgot about their kids. At the end of the day, I told people before, even that was another reason I was going to shut the program down, was my kids, my oldest son's 6 now, man. He need me. William's about to turn 4. I got one about to turn 1. Hey, it's about time me the daddy, like my really daddy now. Like, I mean, they could be babies and stuff, and I be, moving around and traveling, but now they need me every day. They need me all the time. They need me at practice. They need, like, I tell people all the time, after 3 o'clock, That's a wrap.
You told me.
Yeah. Hey, bro.
Deal.
At 3:00, ain't none of my day is with anybody else. It's with my kids. Unless I really got something important to do. At 3:00, it's all kids the whole time. You know, whether that be swinging the bat, reading something outside. We go every Sunday and go get ice cream, whatever like that. We got our little traditions that we do. But my kids will be raised first.
That's so important.
Yeah, they're gonna be raised first, and they're gonna be always the most important to me. That's what I believe in. So teaching these kids these skills, making sure my kids don't gotta get it out the mud. Like, yeah, there's a point where I'm gonna create hardship for them just so they have some life challenges. But I'm not just trying to throw them out there to the sharks. Anything could happen, man. Like, this is people crazy, man. I don't understand. I'm like, I always ask people, like, do y'all actually love your kids for real, or they just here and you just love them because you got to?
You got to.
Yeah, nah. I truly love my kids. I've always wanted to be a dad. It's my favorite job. I love being a daddy.
That's crazy. That's amazing to hear, especially for a black man to say,
Love
I've always
kids.
wanted to be a daddy. Because, as brought up, you hear a lot of men don't want to be fathers or scared of fatherhood because of what that brings to the table, what that looks like.
Yep.
And I wouldn't, still for me, as into this day and age, being young, I'm 24, so I'm about to hit that 25 mark in May. It's scary. I must say, and the only reason it is scary to such an extent is because I feel like financial stability plays such a huge role in everything. And I think the biggest lesson for me growing up, I cannot have a child and not be stable. I cannot bring a child into a world that I completely don't understand. Granted, I'm still learning, I'm still going through the phases of life, but to have an understanding of where I want to be, where I want to go, is very, very crucial, not only for your development, but also for your child.
At 19, I had my first son. I was 19 years old. And at that time, I wasn't like financially stable or nothing like that. But what'll happen when you have a kid is like, just like a mom have a kid or a bear or a cat, whatever, that instinct just kick in immediately. So as soon as my son was born, everything had to change because I'm like, I got to make sure he has everything he needs. So the stuff you wouldn't normally do, you're going to do now because you got a kid. So even if you broke or whatever like that, granted, you do want to be financially stable or whatever like that. To me, kids ain't that expensive. I'm sorry. I don't think people try to sell this thing like kids just, I don't think so.
Really?
Maybe as they get older, like with maybe equipment and stuff like that, but you got 5 years to really just get yourself together while that child's growing up because they ain't playing sports yet. They're not really doing much. Yeah, you got to get them some food. And you can buy clothes from Walmart. Like my kids still wear clothes from Walmart. I mean, that's what they like. They like to wear light up shoes or whatever. Yeah. And they like the little Nikes and stuff now. But as a child, that stuff to me, I mean, getting a regular job can take care of a newborn child, in my opinion. And that's neither here nor there. Maybe that's a sensitive subject, but it's not what people make it out to be. I thought it was gonna be this crazy thing and all that, and I was 19. I had my own bills and stuff. I drove a forklift and I was able to make ends meet, and that was it, or whatever. With my first son, but you gonna do what you need to do to take care of that child. Moms, dads, you gonna make whatever happen. I seen moms with 6, 7 kids. They make it. They gonna do what they gotta do to make it work. Absolutely. Or whatever. But definitely, it's a learning experience, and I think kids should be definitely born into a good environment. But it is scary. Just trying to pick a mom, and pick a wife and pick it's a thing. It's a thing because I truly understand. I've been watching like all these gender wars on social media, and I'm just like, oh man, because I want more children. I want many kids, but man, I'm just like.
Yeah.
Ooh, Lord. It's just like, man,
it's real
goodness. Because I'm a dad's dad. I don't really need you to do nothing for the baby. I'm gonna take care of everything or whatever like that. But man, like the turmoil they'll try and put you through, etc. Especially y'all don't end up being together or whatever like that. And it's hard because people are like, oh, just find you a godly wife and this and that. You don't know what people capable of. People change, etc. Like the person you thought you married, they ain't the same person no more. That's men and women. Like people change. So it's like you just taking a leap of faith, and then even like people like, oh, I would never do this, I would never do that, till they get mad, till you piss them off, whatever. So it's just like you don't know who you're dealing with. So then you trying to court somebody, just trying to see who they are for 2-3 years. You got to see who they are when they mad and see who they are when they sad, and like just all that. By the time you get to all that, then y'all done broke up. You're like, dang, when am I gonna have a kid? Like it's a lot. It's a lot, in this day and age, But I say, man, hey, do your best, go to church, stick to your godly principles, pray, etc., and things will happen as they should. But that's definitely a subject matter. Like I said, picking, trying to pick the right partner to be with, and hopefully forever, because things happen.
Yeah.
You get married, you have kids, and then things change. So that's definitely a different topic to speak on. But if in my experience, like I said, I enjoy being a daddy. And whatever stuff I had to do to make sure I can be a dad, that's what I had to do. And that's what I do full time for the most part. And then I've been able to monetize being a father, to be frank. That's all I do full time. If I ain't, doing podcasts or working with the TheXProgram, I'm just being a dad. That's it. Taking them places, beautiful. Going places. And I know a lot of fathers don't get that freedom to just go get them. For one, my kids go to my school, get them whenever I want them, or whatever like that. They're well ahead of many other children as far as reading, etc. But I can do whatever I want with them, pick them up whenever I get ready, extracurriculars, etc. Every dad doesn't have that. So it's like, okay, as a father, you have to create time to be able to dad your kids, because some dads will be like, feel like all they got to do is work a job and take care of and buy everything, send money, and that's it. Even staying in the same house. It's so many dads I know that are living at home that ain't really daddying their kids. They just think because they at home and they work all day and they just that you're not daddying your son. Like, he needs you to father him.
Literally. Sit down, talk to him, find out what's going through his man.
And I tell people, you have to even sit down at the table and eat dinner with your kids. You have to put them in sports, and the reason I say put them in sports, and like, let them pick whatever sport. But for one, it teaches them work ethic. And also, sports allows them to fail. These are life lessons you have to start teaching that you can utilize sports to do. Because, to be frank, I mean, what failures is a 5-year-old going to experience outside of sports? Like, when is he really going to fail? Like, never. So now my son at 6, he has all these different quotes that he remembers from me about failing or, not doing your best, etc. And he'll throw them off to you or whatever like that. But he's internalized it now. And so now he doesn't cry as much when he fails. He knows he got to go put some work in. He doesn't cry much when I say no, or when things like, I give them challenge now. So as they get older, when life challenges them, they ready to beat it. They ready to beat it up. So I tell parents all the time, even about saying no. No is a character building word. I don't care how minute it is. I just say no for sport with my kids, just for fun. No. Can I get some chips? No. Can I watch TV? No. Like, I just say no. But before, it was just crying, but now it's just like, no, okay, understood. His daddy said no, we go find something else to do, or whatever like that. And so that helps them, or whatever. Again, realize that you're not gonna always get what you want. Constantly giving the kid what they want, not letting them cry, or just all that stuff ruins them. You have to allow them to process all that emotion. Let them cry all the way out. Let them be upset. Let them get angry, or whatever like that. You have to let them process those emotions. And when they make mistakes during those moments, like if they get angry and want to throw something, all right, cool, we finna talk about that real quick. I don't even like spank my kids. My kids, I've only whooped my kid. They mama whoop them, but I don't whoop them. But they mama kind of gotta whoop them. I don't whoop my kids at all. I haven't had to. I've whooped my children maybe 2 or 3 times their whole life. And that's together or whatever. Other than that, I haven't had to whoop them. The only reason I've spanked them was because kids also have to understand, and especially boys, there are certain things that you're gonna do where a line gets crossed, where pain will get inflicted.
Absolutely.
And every boy has to understand that. Whether you bothering somebody else, you talking trash to somebody, you will cross a line and pain will appear. And that's just is what it is. So there's been 2 or 3 times where they simply crossed the line, and I don't like just give them a hope. I only give them 1 lick. They don't need 1 from me, I promise. You don't get 1 lick or whatever. But I give them that lick because you crossed a line. They cross that line, like I said, maybe once a year. But when they cross that line, pain appears, and that's what happens. And same thing with their brothers. Like, as brothers, he be like, oh, William bit me, whatever like that. Did you hit him back? Okay, well, he crossed the line. You need to give him some pain. So he understands that he better not bite you again. Absolutely. Or he throws something that you want. He breaks something of yours. Put some paws on him or whatever like that. You the big brother. Why does he not respect you or whatever? Put some paws on him. Reaction. It is what it is. But eventually, when he started hitting William back, because William just hit him all the time. When he started hitting William back, now they get along great. Because William know I ain't going to hit my big brother, because bro
got some power behind it.
Bro going to put some paws on me or whatever like that. So again, there's a line that gets crossed that boys need to understand where pain will appear. And I don't believe in whooping kids for every single sort of thing, like, because you ain't got no other punishment. Like, come on, bro. Like, it's too much. I make them do wall sits or some push-ups or whatever like that. My kids don't like when I raise my voice. I mean, they'll cry if I raise my voice. You know, they just like, all right, why you yell at me? You know, like, but stop being stupid, bro. Like, I'm like, you can't. I told them, you can't get mad at me for something that you did. This is a decision you decide to make. So, son, there are consequences that come along with those decisions that you decide to make. So, with your kids, you know, you're gonna hurt them by not necessarily punishing them, and the punishment doesn't always look like a whooping, especially for boys. Like, it's not always punishment. Like, take something away, make them do wall sits or whatever, and those wall sits help them out, help their legs get stronger or whatever. Like,
and you remember them for sure.
Yeah, you're gonna remember it. Picking cherries, I make them do that number or whatever like that.
Picking cherries, they know about that.
Oh yeah. You're gonna pick cherries, all that stuff. But again, it's just all that just character building. So over time, it happens less and less and less. If that stuff is continuing to happen and you cannot get through to your kids, you know, it's not a child problem, it's a you problem. So figure out what you're doing as a parent as to why your kid doesn't respect and doesn't listen to you. And because some people have a ego that's too big to admit, I may be doing something wrong with my son then, or I may be something I need to do differently. Maybe I need to consult somebody or go read a parenting guide or whatever, like something that I need to be doing different because my child's not listening to me, he's not respecting me, etc. But I also tell people they'll wait too long to try to discipline their kid. Like, I tell people, like, the other day this guy asked me, well, what age do you start disciplining your kids? I say after 1. After 1, ain't nothing cute no more. It ain't cute. We ain't throwing stuff. We ain't we're not biting none of that. We're not talking to you like no baby no more. After 1 year old, that's when I started raising my son. So right now, my youngest, he's 10 months or whatever. I still like, you know, play with him, whatever like that. But he's starting to understand stuff now. Like I see you understanding, stuff you ain't supposed to be doing. So slowly, I'm introducing discipline. Like, hey, no, you cannot do that. Put that down. You know, whatever. He understands or whatever. But if you just let them just be cute all the way till they turn 4, 5, 6, and 7. Everything, it's okay, you know. All right, cool. Turn 10 and 11. I can't do nothing with this boy. He won't listen. He won't do this. It's because all that time you thought it all was cute. Them saying little slick stuff. Ha ha, he said something smart. Ha ha. No. It's not
cute.
It's not cute no more. After 1 year old, start raising your child. I promise it's going to pay off in the end.
How important to you is it as a black man for people to actually believe in you and your brand?
I just spoke about this, man. For a long time, I thought people in Albany didn't like me in general, mainly because when I first started, it was a lot of little buzz around, you know, the program and what I was doing. But as I got into it, we had got invited to the White House by President Trump at the time. House? Yeah, we got invited. Now, this is a random invite. I'll never forget. We were posting on social media what we were doing. I had just made a Twitter account. And so on Twitter, I was just posting some of the skill workshops we were doing. One of our posts with us doing sheetrock went viral. And then we just got a message like, hey, y'all trying to come to the White House, pay for everything, whatever like that. But it was a great experience for those kids. For one of those kids that never been on an airplane before, it was just beautiful, great experience or whatever. We had a lot of people that were supportive of it, but you had a whole lot of people just dog me out for why would you bring those kids to the White House? You know, I'm like, bruh, I don't care if you like the guy or not. He's still the president, bro. Absolutely. You know, at the end of the day, it's still one of the most honorable experiences for an American citizen to get. Yeah. And then on top of that, they didn't realize all the networking I did while I was there because so many people was like, hey, what y'all do? You know, how can we support, et cetera, et cetera. So we ended up getting a lot of support, you know, when we went there. But on top of that, you know, there was a lot of different narratives that were created about me in the city of Albany that for one, weren't true. And then a lot of people had said, that's just one podcast I did recently. A guy was like, you know, everything, I'm gonna be real with you, everything I ever heard about you was negative. And he was like, but until I actually met you, he was like, you know, things are different. Same thing when people come and actually visit the program or actually have a conversation with me versus all the stuff you may have heard online, because I never respond to anything. There's no point in responding to it. You're just gonna give it to your algorithm. That's dumb. So I never respond to anything, but people, you know, make themselves believe this stuff or, you know, make themselves believe any lies that have come out or whatever. So for a long time, I never would move around Albany because I just thought people here didn't like me. So I never moved around Albany for maybe 2 years. I just would go do workshops elsewhere. I would do different things elsewhere. I would do a couple things in Albany, but only with the Extra Boys program because, again, I just thought people just necessarily didn't like me or whatever. But anyway, maybe in the past 2 years, past year and a half, I just started kind of back maneuvering around Albany. I just started going to the store because I literally wouldn't go to the store. I would just go either mad early in the morning because I just thought people just didn't want to deal with me or whatever. So I was like, all right, cool. Anyway, I started going to stores and participating in community events. But when I go places, it's like people be so happy to see me. Like people are like, Like, it's King Randall. Like, what's going on, man? I love what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. But after a while of seeing that, like, just going to the store, people want to take pictures or whatever like that, I was like, so regular people in Albany do love what I do.
Absolutely.
No matter where I go, even when I was delivering beds, like, they noticed me, they're like, hey, you the guy, that walked to Atlanta, or whatever. You the guy that, did the Extra Voice program. And these people, like, you could see a light on their face when they saw me, because they just like, there's that part of hope that I do believe in Albany. And that's like a charge I have, because people here, if they don't believe in nothing else, I've seen them believe in what I'm trying to do. So it's like I have a charge to try and make the city better and do different things that I believe can make the city better. So with that charge I have, I truly enjoy it, because people do love what I'm doing. White, black, and like from every side of town. When I go to these volunteering events or whatever, people be so happy that I just came. They just be like, man, I would never thought you would have came to this, whatever. Like, or the other day when the Sean Ryan show came out, my best friend works at Marine Base, and he was saying that the Sean Ryan show is like one of the biggest podcasts in the country. But he was saying that everybody there was talking about the podcast. Yeah. And it was like, this guy's from Albany. And he was like, y'all, that's my dude. Like, that's my best friend. They was just like, can you get him to come up here? And he was like, yeah, like, that ain't nothing.
That's easy.
So I got out the bed, and I, came to the Marine Base, and like, everybody came outside. Everybody wanted to take pictures and talk about it. It was just like, we would have never thought this was in Albany. It was like, you was just at the White House, last week. They was like, well, thanks for coming to visit, us little people. And I'm just like, it's not that for me. I live in Albany just like y'all do. I put my pants on the same way y'all do every single day or whatever. I make, I do different things or whatever, but I'm regular just like y'all. I go to Publix, get my fruit, like everybody else do.
Man. It's real.
It's real, but people love that or whatever, because I'm super personable. I don't like not show up to stuff. I don't care how small somebody think it is. I'm gonna be there. If I said I'm gonna be there, I'm gonna pull up. That's what I believe in. Because I understand how people do, around here. But people truly love what I do, and that means a lot to me, especially here in Albany. So I say the gatekeepers probably don't like me, because I've been doing all the stuff that they said should have been done a long time ago, and here I am coming to do it. Because like I said, everybody loved to hear me do this when I was like 18, 19. But when I started moving, and everybody like, oh, let me, I'm like I'm the boogeyman. Like this last election that's supposed to come up, this Ward 2 election, everybody's like, oh, King Randall's jumping in. He live in Ward 2 now. He gonna jump in the race. I mean, I'm hearing all this stuff. Folks calling my phone, texting, saying all this stuff. They got people setting meetings up with me, etc. Like I'm just this boogeyman that's coming to hurt somebody or something. I'm like, why are y'all acting like this? It's not even that deep. But I realized, because God talked to me, he was like, oh, well, if you run, you just gonna get all the white people vote. I said, bruh, this is where y'all got me sadly mistaken. I said, all y'all gatekeepers think that, oh, just white people like what I do or blah, 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 blah. Sure. I said, you don't realize, but regular Negroes, regular black people in Albany love me.
Absolutely.
Period. And I told them that. I said, I go to the east side all the time. I feed people over there, etc. I said, I do stuff y'all ain't never seen. I done paid for funerals. We done got people organs, etc. You don't know what I did for people. I said, people love me. I said, and whether you think so or not, if I were to decide to run, which I'm not, I said, I would bring people out more than y'all have seen the past few elections, because people see hope in what I'm doing. Because to be frank, I told them, I said, who's going to vote for y'all?
Nobody.
Nobody's going to come out to vote for y'all. I said, when the last time anybody ran for something in Albany that you believed in? Nobody. Nobody's running in Albany. Nobody actually has any hope in. So why would y'all expect people to come out to vote? Y'all don't do no marketing, no real advertising, no real door knocking. Y'all come up here and say the same stuff over and over again. So what would they care to get up and go vote for you? They're like, oh, like Ward 6. They're like, only 400 people voted. Okay, who ran that you believed in? Nobody. Like, to be frank, I don't care what work they call themselves done in the community or whatever. Who's running that people believe in? Nobody. People have to actually believe in you to want to get up and go do something.
Absolutely.
So unfortunately, even if you want to go do something, you're gonna have to prove yourself. I've done that already. I ain't gotta prove myself to people in Albany, because I've spent the time, with these people in late at night, going to people 2 o'clock in the morning, etc. I've done all of it or whatever, without showing it. So
the things people don't see.
People don't see all that stuff. So again, y'all might see surface level stuff about what we do just with the boys. Y'all don't see all the people we help over Christmas time, and for Christmas we do the Christmas helpers thing. Literally, I just tell people, send me a whole bunch of Christmas lists. I don't care what it is. Just send me whatever you want on your Christmas list. I'll reach out to some donors. I'll raise some money, put my own money up. We go to the grocery stores, we go to Walmart, whatever, we go buy all these gifts. I got my whole back of my truck be full of gifts, inside and out, just a whole bunch of stuff people requested. I go look at my list, I go to the address, knock, with my Santa Claus hat on, hey, how you doing? I got all your Christmas gifts here for you. Bicycles, iPads, you name it. We do it. We do this every single Christmas. Do I post all of it? No. I'm like, but it's important, again, for people to know that people see me and believe in me because I've showed up for them. Who have y'all showed up for in the city of Albany?
Absolutely nobody.
So they're just being frank. So people believe in me here, and I had to see that for myself. And that means a lot to me, just to see regular, everyday people, the beautiful people, believe in what I do.
That's prominent. That's big. I'm not gonna lie.
I love it.
And ain't gonna lie, you will see FBP there this year.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
Be supporting, volunteering, anything I can do to help out.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it. Absolutely.
So, we spoke earlier about embracing law enforcement. Mm-hmm. What is your thought process behind law enforcement, and how do we make it a safer space for younger black men?
Put black men in uniforms. I've said this before, because we don't have them issues in Albany. And why don't we have those issues in Albany? Because most of our police force is African American. We don't have that issue with the race thing here in Albany with the police thing. You may have it elsewhere. You may have it in other cities. But I tell people all the time, I live in South Georgia or whatever. I've been pulled over 1,000 times because I'm a speeder. I have never had a bad interaction with police. But I will say the reason I haven't had one, in my opinion, is because I've also learned how to interact with the police. I understand this person has a weapon. I understand this person has a taser, whatever like that. And I also understand that I can go fight it in court. Has there been instances where people fully complied and still got shot, etc.? Yes, but a very minute number has happened with that. But we should not make the entire narrative behind the few that have been made mistakes and just say all police are bad or everybody's police force is bad. I don't believe that about our police department. I truly believe that if I call the police department here in Albany, they're going to try and help out. Granted, are there bad police? Yes, but you still go to the hospital and there are bad doctors. Absolutely. More people die at the hands of doctors than the police every single year, but you still go to the hospital. So again, what, you're going to stop calling the police because you saw something on TV? Of course, I believe, a lot of that stuff is sensationalized because news media makes money off of the turmoil and the negativity. People going to watch TV. They're going to stay on Facebook. They're going to stay on Instagram. They
like the drama.
They don't care about the drama. They care about the advertisers paying for their spot for the views. They don't care about if they lying or parroting a certain narrative. They want to make sure they keep the same views on screen. For example, all the little plane crashes that have been happening. There have been less plane crashes that have happened this year than by this time last year. People don't even know that or whatever. But because they're hyping it up right now, it's just like, oh my God, every plane's crashing right now. I'm like, bro, there have been less plane crashes this year than there was last year at this time or whatever. So, but those are the narratives they create to keep us watching their screens, etc. So I've said before, I watched some videos of some bad interactions with cops and cops were wrong. But I also have said, okay, why can't we be honest and critique how the citizen interacted with that police officer?
What led to it?
Yeah, I'm just like, should the police have should they have reacted in that way? Absolutely not. However, why would you start cussing the police out as soon as he pull you over? That don't even make no sense. Why am I starting to antagonize this guy that I say I'm scared of?
He got a gun.
That makes no sense to me. Yeah. Every time I get pulled over, your heart's always beating, of course.
Absolutely.
Anybody who get pulled, white, black, whatever, you just scared. It just is what it is. You don't want no ticket. Anything could happen. They may be having a bad day or whatever. Yeah. I let all my windows down.
Me too. Yeah.
I bet you can see everything in the car. All the lights on in the car. I already have my stuff ready when you get there, so I ain't gotta go reaching for anything. Because I have my wallet already to the side. I have my my firearm on my passenger seat so they can see it. And when they first get there, before they even say anything, I say, sir, I have my concealed carry weapon in the passenger seat and my license registration. Have my hands on the steering wheel. And he like, I pulled you over. Yes, I was speeding. I'll be straight up. And for one, I don't lie. For one, they enjoy when you don't lie. So I don't lie. I be like, if I know I got pulled over, I just straight up say it. I was speeding. It is what it is. He'd be like, all right, let me get your license or whatever. So I've had times where I had a significant, speed reduction because they just like, look, I appreciate that I ain't have to chase you. And I appreciate that you were just honest. So I bumped it down, 9 miles or whatever like that. So you ain't have to pay no super speeder or something like that. Have a good day type deal. Or times like where I know I was doing wrong and I saw the police, I pull over before they even turn the lights on because I know they finna get me or whatever. I just know it. Like when it's been 2 or 3 times where I was riding by State Patrol. I knew I was speeding. I pulled over before he even turned out. I pulled over and he turned out and got behind. He said, bro, just because I ain't have to chase you and you knew you were wrong, slow down and have a good day. State Patrol don't never give warnings or whatever, but just being a cool person and being honest. Now, am I saying every interaction is going to have that? No. Am I saying, that if everybody just does everything right and the police won't get you? Sure, I ain't saying that or whatever, but I will say there are things that can help, de-escalate the situation because it's like, oh, well, police should learn how to de-escalate. I agree with you. I ain't saying that. But just in case, brother, I ain't trained on that, I'm going to de-escalate for you because I'm trying to get back home to my kids. So every single trip. I ain't trying to argue with you, bro. I got one time to say that, I decline you searching my vehicle. If you keep asking, have at it, bro. I ain't going to argue with you on the side of this road. I ain't got time. As long as my dash cam record recording because I have a dash cam. I got a dash cam recording and your body camera on. I'm gonna ask them. I'm gonna make sure that light red. Okay, cool, fine. But I already said I don't consent to a search. But cool, because I can fight that later in court. But have fun. Do what you need to do or whatever. Because I'm trying to get back home to my kids. Even if you find some reason to arrest me, I'm not finna fuss with you. Not finna fight with you. I'll fight it in court and call it a day. Because I want to get back home to my children at the end of the day. So I'm not doing this whole fussing and fighting and all that. Like I said, there have been many interactions with the police that have been terrible, and police have done absolutely the wrong thing. However, there have been times where we have to be honest and say, okay, bro didn't have to be out there with no attitude like that either, or he didn't have to be out here acting stupid either, or whatever. So, but we refuse to say that part, and that's one thing I don't like it, that we're not honest about. Yes, there have been times where police were absolutely wrong and they should not have shot somebody, etc. However, I'm not going to sit here and act like bro shouldn't have been sitting there cussing them out or acting stupid or fighting with them and all that. Stop doing all that, bro. Just vibe, just chill and get back home to your kids.
Quiet. That's the best thing you can do for yourself.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I've had classes with the kids on how to interact with police, and most police are like, this would make me comfortable or whatever like that. And like I said, every police is not out to get you or nothing like that. And I wish, news media wouldn't have us in that thought process, but they do. But here in Albany, all of our police are African American. So why not want to put more, black men in those uniforms to make us feel safer, especially in communities where, black people are. And they like, oh, well, black men shouldn't be police. That's, that's a traitor or whatever like that. Yeah. I'm like, bro, so why would I only want police to be white if I say I'm scared of them? That don't make no sense. So I don't know. That's just the thought process behind it. But yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to law enforcement. I just think, they could have some better trainings, as well as, people could have better trainings on how to deal with law enforcement too. It's a whole thing everybody needs to work on.
It's a give and take situation.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. So I got 2 more questions for you, and then we'll get up out of here.
Yes, sir.
There's been some controversy around your work. How do you handle critics, and how do you keep pushing forward through all of it?
I handle critics by continuing to work. Most critics cannot combat with the amount of work that we do. As much as people, have to say about me in the program, you're never gonna outwork us. All I'm gonna do is do something else. Like, for example, I sold my car, but I had a Corvette for like almost 2 years. Nobody had any, I never posted it, never shared it. I would just drive it like maybe once or twice a month or whatever like that. But I mainly got it for my students because they enjoyed seeing it. And there's another thing I wanted them to see was you ain't got to be no rapper or no football player to have some money and get something cool. But anyway, so this one particular night I decided to go out to eat, and I was at a restaurant. I'm out to eat. I'm in the restaurant and I see somebody had took a picture of my car while I was inside the restaurant and, posted it or sent it to the guy who I post all the stuff on all the negative stuff on Facebook or whatever. And he's like, oh, this is not a good look and blah, 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 and this and that. But at that moment, I saw so many people that didn't even know me defending me. They was just like, well, what y'all want the guy to drive? The guy been doing work for years. Like, he can't have a cool car or whatever like that. So, but anyway, I didn't respond because I knew later on I was finna unveil my fundraiser to walk to Atlanta. So, I mean, I didn't respond. I let all the people defend me, and they was under there saying whatever. They started talking about my personal life and blah, blah, blah. I was just like, oh, okay, cool, or whatever. And as soon as I dropped my fundraiser to walk to Atlanta, it went all over the place, and we raised a lot of money, and it was cool. But in order to combat the critics, I just keep doing work. When people talk bad about me, especially online, somebody's gonna come to see who is this guy y'all talking about. Absolutely. He must be some evil villain guy, like. And they come see my page. It's just like, well, what is there on here not to like? Like, who? What? I mean, he's a daddy. He's helping the kids. He's helping the community. What you got a problem with? Like, what are you so mad about? And it's just like, oh, I just don't. He just get on my nerves. I'm just like, what did I do?
Self-hatred, man.
Yeah, I'm just like, what did I do? Anytime I ask the question, I'm like, what did I actually do? You just, the Trump stuff and this and that. I'm just like, bro, you don't even see me posting about Trump. I'm like, yeah, I went to the White House or whatever like that. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of like all the stuff that he does or whatever like that. You don't see me posting all that stuff. They'll try to group me with like the MAGA people and stuff. I'm like, bro, the MAGA people live and breathe Donald Trump. They worship the man. All they do is talk. They wake up every day and posting about Trump, talking about Trump, this and that. I don't associate with those guys. Have I seen them at like different events? Sure. But I don't live like them. Like, they making posts just to go viral, making comedic stuff. Bro, I didn't even post a picture. All for attention. All for attention. Bro, when I went to the White House, I posted one picture and said I was there, and I literally said back to work, and that was it. And called it. Yeah, they all in there trying to go viral and like talking about Pastor Jamal Bryan, and they in there saying all this stupid stuff and just trying to make a scene. Bro, I'm not there for antics, that. Man. I got invited here because of the work that I do, not because I'm in here worshiping Trump or saying all this stuff about Trump and none of that stuff. They invited me because of the work that I do, and they also have about to invite the kids again, to the White House or whatever to come make a visit and come actually tour or whatever like that. But it's because of the work that I do, not because I'm on here saying no MAGA stuff or this and that. And on top of that, people have internalized that so much to the point where they shunning family members and bro, your grandma been your grandma for a whole life. That's been your grandson forever. Do not sit here and you turning out family members because they decided to vote this way. Bro, your life's still gonna be the same whether Kamala got in or Trump got in. Unless you actually get up and do some work for yourself, your community still gonna look the same. Your lifestyle gonna look the same because of the decision you decide to make. But you out here, like unfriending people and like your best friends and your sisters and your cousin over Trump. Bro, come on, bro. Like that stuff is idiotic to me, and I don't want to be associated with folk who look at Trump like that anyway. Like had this guy who thought I was running for Ward 2, and he just like, I don't want no MAGA Republicans in there. Bro, first of all, again, I'm all about doing work. Just because, I've been able to shake hands across the aisle because they ain't saying about the Democratic work that I've done with, Democratic senators or whatever like that. Mm-hmm. I don't hear y'all talking about that. But as soon as I go shake hands across that side, then y'all upset.
Big thing, yep.
What people don't understand is about this work, and I'm going to finish it here. You have to be able to interact with people on both sides of the aisle. For one, if these people are in office and I pay taxes, they work for me. So absolutely. I am going to go talk to them. I am going to go sit at the table with them. I'm going to ask them, can I get X, Y, Z? Because we need stuff for our community. I don't care who's in office. If Kamala got in there, I was going to reach out to the White House again, like I have previously with the Biden administration. Did they reach back out? No, they did not. Because I guess I just don't do stuff that they are interested in, which is fine. But if I say that, they're going to be like, oh, well, he ain't got to invite you to the White House for you to support him. Or he ain't got, I'm like, it ain't necessarily about that. I'm just telling you talking about I shouldn't be out here moving with the Republicans or whatever. Well, you ask your Democratic senators and stuff y'all voted in to interact with me. I done sent letters. I done called, etc. Do they ever get back with me? No. So that ain't got to do with me. If they decide to get back to me, that's a decision they decided to make. And if you truly like me and what I do, maybe you should talk to them about why they not inviting me on their show. They're like, oh,
they not showing up.
They're like, oh, why you ain't going to no black podcast? Ask them why they ain't inviting me. Again, like when I went on CNN, all of my, Republican followers, they were just like, oh man, this is good that CNN is bringing on somebody that is not, necessarily, left wing. They're like, this is good. We're glad you got the platform to even go over there to share your message with people that watch CNN. They was all happy about it. When I get on Fox News, all my left wing people that love me, why would you go on Fox? This and that. And I'm like, I literally went on Fox and shared exactly. I didn't go on there to talk about nothing but the Extra Boys program. I'm like, if you said you support me, what is wrong with me sharing it to another audience? Like, do you support or not? Like,
they don't.
Exactly. I'm like, you're not a real supporter. You only support if I parrot the narratives you want me to parrot or go where you want me to go. I'm going to do what I want to do. That's why, again, we're not government funded. And so with that being said, it's like all the government funded people got something to say about me. But like I tell them all the time, you the ones with the government funding, you got to scratch when you don't itch and you got to dance when you don't like the music. I can do what I want to do. I can say what I want to say, talk about the Bible, do this and that, and not accept some people, etc. because we are privately funded. Them government funded organizations, they got everybody in their business and they got to do this and that. I ain't got to do none of that stuff. We do what we want to do in the Extra Boys program because we privately funded.
Yes, sir. That brings me to one of my last questions. What is next for the X program? What is next?
Man, well, at this point, we're just trying to grow. I said we're just trying to grow here in the city of Albany. I'm trying to, make it bigger. We have a new task with the younger kids now from ages 7 to 9. We're going to keep doing the same stuff we've been doing, but we're just trying to focus our efforts in different places with them because they are younger and we have to do things a little bit different now because I'm used to working with teenagers. But I got new staff now, got renovations happened, etc.
Yeah,
so we ready to get the ball rolling, to be honest. And for me, I'm on these different boards. I'm on I'm trying to make sure different things happen for the city. And right now I'm just on this thing where just trying to show everything in a positive light. I'm trying to go to all the volunteer events. I'm trying to go to all the nonprofits. I'm trying to partner with them all, trying to meet with them all. How can help me help y'all? I'm sitting talking to all of them like, listen, your marketing needs to change, bro. Like this is not it. Let's figure out how we can utilize my platform because a lot of people in Albany follow me, but I'm just like, let's figure out how we can use my platform to share what y'all doing. When we posted up about DCSS and the Level Up program, I had a whole bunch of parents reaching out to me like, hey, I didn't know this program existed. Yep. I know you didn't, but call DCSS or whatever. But that helps them out to get more people in these programs that they need. So I'm trying to get them to see the importance of the marketing here in the city of Albany. So that's my goal lately. Is just let's put all the positive stuff out about Albany, because we gonna let all the negative narratives take over, which they already have. All people follow is all the negative pages, but I want all the positive pages people follow. So we finna share all the good stuff about Albany, every great thing I can find, restaurants, you name it. I'm gonna go do reviews. Don't care. Albany, because I want people to know that somebody here does believe in Albany. And as we keep going, people keep leaving, and that's tax dollars that are leaving the city of Albany. So while people believe in me, we're gonna keep sharing what's happening in Albany, because we want people to want to move here, people to want to stay here, and we also want to kill all those negative narratives about the city. And I'm probably one of the only people capable of doing so.
And that's big, man. Taking on that platform yourself is not only monumental but huge.
Absolutely,
especially as a black man. Once again. So as I always like to end the FBP podcast, I always ask the co-host to give, some words of wisdom or words of advice to somebody who may be in your position or upcoming to be in your position. What would you have to say to the viewers out there?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if y'all familiar with Cantrell here in Albany, the rapper Steve Cantrell. He says obstacles are optical illusions. Jump high anyway, jump high just in case. That's something I say every single time I end every show with that. That's probably one of the biggest things to me, because truthfully, obstacles are optical illusions. It's something that it seems like it's in your way, but it's really not. It's literally up to you to just jump high, and jump high anyway. Even if it seems like something's in your way, feel like you can't do it, just jump high anyway. Just jump high just to make sure you pass that obstacle, even if you don't see it. Just jump, and build your wings on the way down. So.
Hey, build your wings on the way down.
Yep.
You heard it from King Randall himself, man. I appreciate you so much
yes,
for
sir.
taking the time out to even meet with somebody like me.
Yes, sir.
I'm the smaller fish in the city of Albany, so I greatly appreciate this time and opportunity, man. Thank you so much.
Glad to be here. Glad to share the platform, and thanks for my shirt, man. Too.
Hey, man,
I appreciate
absolutely,
it.
No
I want
problem.
that shirt though, man. That shirt hard.
It's sold out.
We got to get me one of them.
It's sold out, but
I want to take the sleeves out of them, maybe like a tank top, so when I work out, that's gonna be like one of my workout shirts.
I definitely got you. We're gonna work on that, man. As always, thank you so much for viewing the podcast. FBP out.
Peace.